With momentum behind the drive to legalize marijuana, why have pot stocks been getting smoked? Frank Holland joins us now with more. Frank, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Melissa. We're here at the Benzinga Cannabis Conference. Obviously, a lot of excitement about 420 and the fact that nearly 250 million Americans have access to legal, recreational, or medical cannabis at the state level. Of course, federal legalization, that remains really the holy grail for both U.S. and Canadian operators. And right now, there are 4 bills being considered in Congress that would decriminalize cannabis, that would allow U.S. operators to list on major exchanges, and also expand banking options. But honestly, the chances of any of these bills passing both chambers, that really remains unclear. Here in the U.S., cannabis sales are forecast to increase to $31 billion, 28% year-over-year growth. But the stocks of the U.S. multi-state operators, the only companies with a license to sell cannabis here in the U.S., even with all this momentum, they really remained under pressure, down double digits over the past year. I spoke to the CEO of Cresco Labs, Charlie Batchel. That's the largest U.S. MSO. He says MSOs can have an effective tax rate as high as 70% because they can't take out most business deductions because cannabis is federally illegal. He says reform would immediately improve cash flow and profit.
Also, margin improvements that'll come from that greater efficiency and, of course, the reduced cost of capital and taxation.
That cost of capital is a major issue for U.S. MSOs. Also, for Canadian operators, building relationships with U.S. regulators and supply chains ahead of potential reform is part of their motivation to acquire, invest, or partner with U.S. companies. Canopy acquired acreage and edible blend Wana. CEO David Klein says reform would dramatically change the company's valuation.
The most meaningful change would be that we would take direct control over our U.S. assets. Right now, we don't have direct control, and we don't consolidate those results into our financial results.
So keep in mind, even with legalization or some type of reform, states would still control licensing and regulation, according to Stifel. Cannabis data firm Headset forecast that reform would increase sales by 5 to 10% in the first year. Maybe not as much as a lot of people think. You also have to remember that these legal sellers, they still face very stiff competition from the illegal market. Joe, back over to you.